What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. It's episode number 71. Lots to get through today as always as Vinicius wins the Ballon d'Or in Season 8. And we've got more games in the Europa Conference League. Our first trips away from Rome in Europe with PAOK in Greece and Shamrock Rovers in Dublin. And more games in the Serie A after a really nice run of form for Roma. No defeats in our last 8 in all competitions. We'll try and get back in the top 4 and possibly go into pole position as well. So lots to get through today, and we'll start off with this. It's PAOK away in Greece in match day 3 of the Conference League, going for our first away win in Europe and maintaining our 100% start. Forza Rome. Of course, it's worth remembering back in Season 4 with Sunderland, we won the Conference League against Roma in the final. And if you remember Jack's season, I kept on saying it, like we were the best 2 teams in that competition, and so it was obvious we were going to meet in the final unless we met in an earlier round, and you know, obviously then one team would get knocked out, but that was the only way we weren't going to meet in the final. We were both head and shoulders above the rest of the teams in the competition, and I feel the exact same way this year as well. No disrespect to a lot of teams as PAOK do take the lead, but if we're not in the final at a bare minimum, we have had a disastrous European campaign with Roma. That is just how strong we are. And it sounds arrogant, don't get me wrong, but you've got to be honest about this, man. This kind of team should be outright favourites to win the competition. And anything short of runners-up, and that is a failure of a campaign. But for our first trip away from Rome in Europe, we're a goal down in Greece, and possibly could go 2 goals down. Topka does well, and we'll get it away. Well, I'm saying how strong we are and how much better we are than other teams. It's time to go prove it. As Roberto holds it up really well, and Liberali is through for his first as a Roma player. Great hold up, better finish. First round new number 91. Rome with the instant leveller. Shoulder short tire, dispossessed, and Fabre hooks it through to Liberali, who got the goal. And now the man who got the assist, Roberto, rolls it back into him. Liberali, great turn, and just couldn't hit the target. Still half an hour to go, tied at 1-1. Not the worst result in the world, but I want the qualifying done before match day 8, man. I want to make sure that heading into the final game, which I think is going to be away in Turkey, I think, against Besiktas, I might be wrong. I want to make sure this job is done, and we have got qualification in the bag, and Freddie Fabre agrees, but smacks the shot way off target. All Roma just need the winner. Well, it was a 100% start to our European campaign. It might have gone here away in Greece, but honestly, with some rotation heading into the game tonight, I'm not bothered about this at all. I still feel incredibly confident we'll finish top 8 and still be one of the favourites to win it. Yes, there are some teams that will definitely be a threat, but I maintain it. We're the best team in this competition. I'm not worried about this. I'm not worried about it at all. Right, following game, back to matters on the weekend. Heading into this, it's been a really good run of form for Roma. In fact, I think we're unbeaten now in our last 9 or 10 in all competitions. Not a bad response from the thrashing away at the San Siro, 6-0 at Inter. Now, a win here will get us back in the top 4 for the first time since exiting it, and show that despite a poor start, we are definitely one of the threats for the Scudetto this season. Following game, heading into this, Sassuolo away. So pushing into the first half, and I must say this game's got a Leon feel to it, really. Very few chances, as Gilardi does really well there. But this is one of those games that we had often, well I say often, more often than not, with Olympique Lyonnais. Just very few chances, very little being created from either side really. And it will most likely be settled by a single goal. So if we've got the chance, we've got to take it. And speaking of Lyon, it was their star who we've signed from them to be ours as well. 5-11, Freddie Fabre breaks the deadlock. No one I want more in this Roma team than Frederick. And you might have seen as well, heading into today's episode, he's now 91 overall as he Rabona passes to find Topper. Fonsi finds Bove, really well done, excellent move, brilliant finish, and Roma double the lead. Yep, he is the main man, but to be fair, there's several players in this Roma team that could be going for the Golden Boot this year. He, Kamada, and Alfonsi, who's just got our second, are all going to be a threat for that Golden Boot coming the end of the season, because we are the top scorers in Italy, I believe, right now. And it really is a stark contrast to our days at the Groupama Stadium. With the attack we've got, with the way we play, oh, no doubt about it. If we are not top scorers in the Serie A come the end of the season, I will be shocked. Ouattara can't get past Karuma. And there's Pasili, gives it back to him. Rolled through to Freddie. Fabre given space by Moretti. Didn't want to come towards him and get left in the dust. Wise decision, really, because it will allow some teammates to come back and help out. Freddie turns, gets away. It's a wonderful run from Fabre. It's an amazing run from Fabre. It's an incredible goal from who else but Frederick Fabre, captain, leader, legend, hero, player of the season in Ligue 1 last year, and definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, going for it again in the Serie A. 91 overall, this guy feels like one of the greatest of all time, let alone of the save. What a run, what a goal. I have mentioned before that for me, Frederick Fabre is one of a unique handful of players I have had in my career mode too. I truly feel like I am in complete control with, you know, and I have had, you know, ridiculous amounts of heroes, obviously, in all of my career mode saves. Great ball, and Pasili should have wrapped up with the fourth goal, but, oh! I'm on the floor. What has the keeper just done? It's the worst own goal I've ever seen. Someone check his bank account, because he has definitely bet over the 3.5. What on earth have I just seen? Someone check that man's account. That is definitely spot fixing. What on earth have I just seen? It's a brilliant win from Roma, don't get me wrong, but that is absolutely ridiculous, man. It is somewhat takes away a bit of the shine from what is possibly, our best performance of the season. What was that? It's a brilliant win. It is the fourth, but that is ridiculous. What on earth was that? Definitely up there as one of the worst goalkeeping mistakes I've ever seen. Not for the importance, because the game was over, but look at these stats. 6 goals and 7 assists in 11. Terrible in Europe, but brilliant domestically right now. But what on earth was that, man? Just comical. Ridiculous. But yeah, Fabre's full stats on the screen. The 97 stamina, of course, my favourite stat. But the technical's unbelievable, man. And that's who Tokpa should be looking at in the dressing room and saying he's the kind of player I want to be, even though he's 2 years younger. But Frederick Fabre. And so what I was saying before that goalkeeping mistake is that he's one of a handful of players I've had who, they're not just heroes, but they're players who I feel like I'm in complete control with when I'm using them. And I'd say there's only other couple of players that I felt that way with. Niang, probably the all-time greatest. Marcano as well, who I discussed at the start of this save too. But Fabre for sure as well. Whenever I'm on the ball with this guy, or when the ball's getting to his feet, I feel like I know what I'm going to do before I do it, man. He's just that good. Anyway, following game, brilliant win. Possibly our best since joining Roma. And now taking on Parma, back at the Stadio Olimpico, trying to keep our run of form going, stay in the Champions League and close the gap at the top of the table. Forza Roma. Goodness gracious, that has got to be an all-timer for worst goalkeeping error I've ever seen. In terms of what it meant for the game, obviously nothing, but yeah, that is, I don't even know what was going through that keeper's head there for that thought process. That's a brilliant save, and it remains at 0-0, but that was just ridiculous. And I've said before, I don't mind goalkeeping mistakes because they're realistic, but there was nothing realistic about that. You know, a cross being dropped or a shot from range being fumbled, that's going to happen from time to time, but that kind of mistake is ridiculous. But for Freddie Fabre, he leaves the keeper with no chance there and continues his scintillating start to the season. It is 7-12 for the captain, and this man is on absolute flames. Question marks were, could he adjust to life in Italy after leaving his native France? I think the first few weeks have told you he's had no problems whatsoever. Freddie Fabre on fire. Side note, by the way, Parma, such a classic Football Italia team, aren't they? Honestly, every time you hear the words Parma, you think about the away kits they've got on here, the yellow and blue, so iconic. And of course, as Freddie belts in the second, what am I trying to say there? But you just think of Parma in the 90s, man, and obviously Buffon beginning his career here. For those who may not have known, legendary goalkeeper, one of the best of all time, Gianluigi Buffon. What? Gianluigi Buffon? What did I call him? Gianluigi. But Buffon began his career here, and yeah, tonight coming to the Stadio Olimpico, well, they would have needed Buffon in goal for this because he is facing a lot of shots, and Rome are running away with it early. 2-0 up, but more goals to come, I'm sure. Fabre running the show in the first half, as he often does, still leading by 2. Rain might be pouring down, but nothing sluggish about his display, and he's just got a hat-trick of goal contributions as well. Leone heads in his first since arriving. It is free for AS Roma. A dominant first half display. Buffon or not, Parma got no chance tonight. Oh, what's happened there though? What's happened there? Parma, what has happened there? That is woeful. Well, Leone might have scored on the offensive end, but part of the fragile back line. Another conceded, and we might have had a brilliant clean sheet against Sassuolo, but clearly it goes to show you, as good as we are offensively, defensively, this is terrible, man. I can't get over how bad I am at the back. That was a wonderful ball through. Great turn by Almquist, gives it him back, and another goal. Parma have cut it from 3-0 to 3-2. He's saying, guys, come on, it's not over yet with 16 to play, and based on Roma's defence, it definitely ain't over yet. Complete control, and I've absolutely thrown this away. I still feel confident we'll win it, but I said it, man. Despite how good we've been recently, we can't win the Scudetto defending like this. Keita out wide finds Bonsu Bar. It's all Parma as they go for the brilliant turnaround. It's rolled through toward Dona's great save by Ipano. And wait. I know what I was doing. That was fine. Did not know what I was doing there. Just about got away with it with 2 to play. Big save by the new number 1 ensures we should hold on to a big 3 points, and it might well be confirmed. It is Alfonsi, it is Tokpa, it is Alfonsi. It's a good ball through. It's Fabre with great footwork, and here goes backwards, and that's fine. Instead, we'll just pass out the clock. Fabre rolls it through, and Alfonsi wraps it up, cannons it in off the underside of the bar. Late goal celebration glitches out, but Roma will get the win. Well, I'll be honest, we've somewhat got away with this, but it is a win regardless. Roma extend a run in the Serie A, but I'll say it once again, we can't keep getting away with this. At some point, we'll have to start defending a lot better if we're to have any chance of winning this Scudetto. We'll hold on to the win, but goodness gracious, that was almost an all-time choke job at the Stadio Olimpico. Right, following game, heading into this Thursday night, travelling away in Europe once again. A draw in Greece on matchday 3. Let's get back to winning ways here on matchday 4 away in Dublin. Next up, Shamrock Rovers, Forza Roma. Shamrock Rovers. What a team name, by the way. Like, what a team name. Shamrock Rovers. You gotta love it. And a little interesting trivia about Shamrock Rovers. Cristiano Ronaldo, his first ever game for Real Madrid, non-competitively of course, was here in Dublin against Shamrock Rovers. Little interesting bit of trivia for you there. But yeah, what a team name. I mean, honestly, Shamrock Rovers. Sounds great, doesn't it? But tonight, what sounds even better is 3 points for AS Roma, back on track, unbeaten in 4 in Europe, and proved. Oh, what a turn! What a goal! What an incredible goal! Well, the hosts have stunned the visitors, and that is incredible! What have I just seen? That was unbelievable! Oh yeah, thanks EA. Thanks for that. I want to see how I've just conceded that remarkable goal, and that's what you're going to show me instead. Thanks for that. What a turn! That is unbelievable. It looked like Johan Elmander out there. I mean, that was unbelievable. Never mind David Nugent. That was Elmander kind of stuff. Ball clipped in. That is an incredible bit of technique. There's a blast from the past. David Nugent, one-time cap holder with England. Am I right thinking that it was Nugent that scored on his only England appearance? Was it Francis Jeffers? No. Nugent? Jeffers? One of the two. As Udo clips it through. Easy money, instant leveler. I ain't going to worry about that. Alfonsi with the instant leveler. 1-1, back on track. Come on, let's go win this game. Come on. It really does say a lot about our defending that we almost bottled a 3-goal lead against Parma at home. And tonight in Dublin, We've conceded again. Yeah, this is what is going to stop us from winning the Scudetto and possibly might stop us winning the Conference League and the Coppa Italia as well. How are we down again, with all due respect, to Shamrock Rovers away? Like, this is just not going to cut it, man. Offensively, we look like the most lethal team in the country, but defensively, I mean, a Serie B team could do better than us. It's embarrassing. I would go as far as saying this is the worst I've defended in the save since the very first season with Sunderland, and that is pretty damning. In fact, I might even go one step further and say it was worse than that, because this is awful. Really poor as... Oh, Roberto heads one just wide the post. And, you know, we might be outscoring our opponents in the majority of games right now, hence the winning or unbeaten run. But there's going to come a point where it's just not going to be enough. And what's that old saying? Goals win games, defence win championships. Well, based on our defence, we will be trophyless come the end of this season. We've got to be better. Liberali slides it through. Roberto, great turn. Rolls it back. Liberali, brilliant turn and a good save. Keeps Shamrock Rovers still in front. Do you remember earlier today I said that I wasn't being arrogant, but I still do think we are the firm favourites to win the Conference League? Well, I stand by it. But this night tonight is proof that you cannot allow complacency to creep in. Famous night in Dublin for Shamrock Rovers' win, but yeah, warning signs laid bare. If they weren't against Parma, they are tonight. Well, that was pretty pathetic from AS Roma, and it just goes to show you that this season, like I said, whilst there's been some brilliant wins and some big highs, it is still a major work in progress, and we may even miss out on the top 8 come the end of the league phase campaign. But speaking of getting back to winning ways, yeah, let's go do it here, shall we? We did the same with a 4-0 thrashing away against Sassuolo early. Let's do it again. Next up, really tough game though. Just below us in the table, Atalanta away in Bergamo. Heading to this, even a win, and we'll still be behind the league leaders Como with 10 wins in 12. But as the top scorers in the division, let's do what we do best. Put a few goals past Atalanta and get back to winning ways here. Forza Roma. I do like those kind of defeats though in a way, because it's like it just shows you that it's not always predictable. Like, sometimes you go into a game like that and you think just because you're like massive favourites, it'll be a comfortable win. And, you know, 9 times out of 10 it is, granted. But there's always that one game where you slip up. You know, there's always that one game where you suffer, you know, embarrassment. And it's good. It's good to have a humbling like that. Like, it's good to have a knockdown like that, because it makes you realise that you can't afford to be complacent. You can't afford to take it off, as Vermaelen almost took the goal net off the posts with a strike like that. But yeah, I kind of like games like that in a way. You know, they come completely out of left field, and it shows you that the magic of the big underdog story is still well and truly alive, even if it comes at the expense of your team. But tonight in Bergamo, like I said, our problems laid bare for all to see. We can score against anyone, but we can't keep a clean sheet against anyone. This first season, I don't know how is going to conclude. But what I will say is this: I'm already thinking about season 2. And with the budget that we've left, which is 70 million. Oh, Fabre, what a ball. And Kamada, brilliant finish, but the flag is up on the far side. And it'll be disallowed. I think he was, to be fair, just offside. But yeah, I'm not going to make any signs in January. Unless you have a big injury between now and then, I'm not going to make any signs in January. I'm going to trust this team is good enough to do our primary goal, which is, well, yes, we want to win silverware, but more than anything, qualify for next year's Champions League. And then for the new season, with the money we'll have, should be a monster budget, I'm going to spend all of it on a world-class CB. As good as Scalvini is, and as decent as he only looks on occasion, I'm going to go all out for a world-class CB, because if we keep defending like this, we'll never be able to dominate. I think it's more than just the fact that our centre-halves aren't as high rated as possibly we could need them to be. I mean, you've got to remember there's other factors at play. Like the whole back line is going to be somewhat disjointed with the new recruits. I mean, you know, there's only one player in our defence and goalkeeper position that is inherited, and that is the right back Karuma, that Nugent. Everyone else has been signed, so it's going to take some time to gel. And not only that, it's a different camera angle. So of course, I said before, that does make a great ball. Oh, Freddie, wonderfully done. Whoa, off the bar. And Atalanta will get it away. That is going to make things a bit trickier, as you know, I don't like to play at the angle like this. It's going to take some time for me to get used to it. And the fact that, again, it's a new division for us, new country, new styles of play to play. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. I'm not panicking, but yeah, for sure. With the high expectations of the board asking us to win a treble, problem is we don't really have the time. You know, we have to make sure in the first season. If we end up trophyless, I think I'll be sacked. Champions League or not, I don't think that'll cut it. We have to win at least one honour this season. And as things stand, well, playing like this, just don't think that's going to be able to happen. That's going to be yours, mate, William, and tackled as we had a chance to come through. He's not happy about it, Karuba. You've got to get back into play, son. Has that ever worked, a player protesting like that, getting a referee to change his mind? Probably not. So get back into play, son. Get back in play. Stop moaning. Just come straight back and help out on defence, man. I don't think I will survive the season if we don't win a trophy. Based on the objectives being win a treble, I don't think we will be here next season. It was a great run from Roma. I think it was 10 unbeaten in all competitions. But now, for the first time this year, it is back-to-back losses in all competitions. And proof that I'll say it once again, this team is a big work in progress. And not only that, to win anything in our first season is going to take some serious ability. And a serious turnaround in fortunes, especially defensively as well. A defeat away in Bergamo, a big loss too, and back-to-back defeats for AS Roma. Right, we'll tell you one more and end on this, and hopefully make sure we get back to winning ways as well. Final game, our first Rome derby as we take on Lazio. This is technically the home game of the two, but heading back to the Stadio Olimpico on the back of back-to-back losses away. Well, I said it, man. I felt this year that away from home is where we struggle. That is clearly the case as we lose back-to-back on the road. Our final game back home, Lazio in the Rome derby. Forza Rome. Well, we wanted a challenge, and we've definitely got one here, despite the quality of the team. As we said before, there's more parity in Italy. The teams are, on average, stronger than the ones we were facing in France. Higher ratings and all. And, yeah, no doubt about it, with such turnover of the team, it's not quite going the way we were hoping, but it's alright. Plenty of season to go. We're only in the halfway stage. Well, of course, I am worried. We still haven't faced Milan, Juve, or the leaders Como yet. So the fact we've already had this many losses, we haven't even faced the three that I was most worried about, alongside Inter, to be fair, as well. Yeah, that says a lot. Yes, Kamada will find Liberali and Pasili to Alfonsi, and Liberali burns one in for his second of the season. Roma in front of the derby. Perfect start. Made a big change heading into the Derby della Capitale as well, and I dropped Destiny Udogi to the bench, and it's a shame as well because I love him in real life, as you know. He's a real athlete, you know. He's tall, he's strong, he's quick, he's got excellent stamina, my kind of guy, as you know. But in this Roma team, he's not really doing it for me. One of the reasons why we're not defending very well is Pasili almost got our second goal. Pushed Topper to left back because of his range. He can definitely play there and do well. And that allows Faber to drop deeper as the box-to-box, run for days, help the back line, and get forward on the offensive end. And Liberali, who's come in, has taken his place at attacking mid and got the goal as well. And to be fair, we look a lot better without Udogi in the lineup too. Still leading by one, could have been two, but with our defence this season, no doubt about it, there'll be definitely a second goal today. If we get it, I think we'll run away with it. If Lazio get it, based on our performances recently, I think we're going to capitulate once again. Second half underway, much better from AS Roma, much better. And for Topper, he must be looking at us and saying, well, I don't mind playing left back, but I don't really want to be here, man. But needs must at times, and that's what I'm saying to the Ivorian. I'm sorry, Brian. I know I promised you an attacking midfield role, and now you've gone down to left back, but it's Fabre almost caught the keeper out. I need you right now, based on our defensive struggles. But still leading by one. To be fair, we've been a much better team. A second goal is coming, and it was almost right there as well. Keeper caught in no man's land, just couldn't keep it down. 40 to play, find a second, and that'll be us back to winning ways, I'm sure of it. Last chance for Lazio, you feel, to get a leveller. Ball clipped inside, rolled in, and finished. Just can't defend, and I'll say it once again. What is that old saying, man? Goals win games. Defense wins championship, and this is why we will not win the Scudetto, and I don't think we'll win the Coppa Italia, and maybe even the Conference League as well. One chance, one shot, one goal, and the familiar problems continue. We might have been held scoreless away in Bergamo, but the vast majority of games we're going to score at least once, possibly 2 or 3 times. But if we can't shut teams out and we can't defend, we simply won't win enough games to win trophies. Another game we slip up, none in our last 3, and only 2 wins in our last 6 in all competitions as well. Yeah, proof right there. This is a real challenge with AS Roma. But that'll do it for today's episode of Career Guys. Big fan. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have done, please do drop a like. Most love to you all. Have a fantastic day. I'll return next one as we'll wrap up the Conference League phase, needing to win back-to-back to finish top 8. We'll have the Coppa Italia against Parma and more games in the Serie A, aiming to get back on track after a poor run. Have a great day. Much love. And I'll see you for the next episode very soon.